From the floor of the CME Group, this is Danny Riley on today's Cash Close. And the name of this video, the S&P 500 and the Greek downward press. The high of the day in the S&P came in at 2092 to even early in the morning. The low came in at 2078 even mid-afternoon. And last, we're 2080 quarter. We're down 11.25 handles, excuse me. Total volume is low. We've got 1.1 million minis traded and 2.6 thousand big S&Ps traded in the pit. The MIM started showing like 130 million to sell or 150 million to sell, went down to 30 million to sell, and then right before the cash close, flipped big to the sell side, and the actual MOC came out, sell 680 million. Now, you know what? Tomorrow we've got the Redbook, we've got the NFIB Small Business Optimism Index, we have the JOLTS number, we have the wholesale trade number, and we have a 3-year note auction. Now look, I think Friday's week close and big MOC selling led into this today. And the constant battering of these Greek headlines and the failure for them to meet their financial obligations has just weighed down on the S&P, and it continues to. There was no economic releases today, and the S&P, by all rights, with Asia and Europe down, had a little bit of a chance to rally, but those Greek headlines just came out all day long. Every time one came out, the S&P went down. After the S&P made its early high, almost every rally that we saw was only like 2 to 3 handles, not even. You couldn't even get a 3-handle bounce out of it. So obviously, there was someone sitting on the S&P selling all day. Now, the Greeks are saying that they're going to come up with this payment to the IMF and the international creditors at the end of the month. I still don't think they're going to. I don't care what anybody says. Well, maybe they will. But you know what? This is not over, and it's been going on for so long. I was asking the other day, how long has this Greek stuff been going on? Forever, it seems like. But anyways, they say they're going to make this payment, and you know what I got to say to that? Duddly Squat. That's what I got to say to that. They ain't going to make those payments. Now, there's not much of an economic schedule till later in the week when we've got the retail sales number and the jobless claims number. So really what this, I think, is just a prelude to next week's June quadruple witching. And I suspected that the way the S&P went out, there was a possibility for more weakness, not only today, but throughout the week. And the S&P is really not going out that firm as we're speaking right now. So that said, I still think there could be a little bit more of this downside, but I do think that we will reverse, and we're going to be looking for the pit bulls Thursday, Friday low the week before the expiration. One thing I would say would be very, very cautious about is the June quarterly rebalance at the end of the month. I think, again, we'll get past this options expiration or the quad witch, but I think that we may have problems going into the end of the month when they do their rebalancing. And then last but not least, look, the summer's coming on fast, and everybody's going to be taking time off. And if there was ever a great time to jump in and find out a little bit about Mr. Top Step and our boot camp, it's now. This is the last week for signing up for it. And I'm going to try to make John put a link in here, but you can find the link on the front of the website. And I would suggest that you sign up. We've got a new provider on the New York Stock Exchange for the MIM. There's going to be Shy Stock. There's going to be WB. There's going to be Robert from the meets. We've got a new guy coming in. We've got Top Notch. We've got everybody. I mean, you know what? At the end of the line, again, I'll put our room up against any room in the business. And in addition to that, we've got that technology with the MIM that I think is critical late in the day. We're going to leave it like that. I want to remind everybody, we are getting back on track for these videos. But you know what? I tried to put something up today on the opening print. Over the last 10 days, over the last 10 Fridays, in fact, if you took it down to 9, 7 of those Fridays have closed within 10 handles either side of S&P 2100. So you know what? We're not missing very much on these videos right now. We'll leave it like that. I'll see you guys tomorrow on the opening print.